This is Inside Innocent Minds, the platform for extraordinary people.
One of the exciting things about change is that it can happen one person at a time. Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "Be the change that you want to see." I'd like to welcome you today to Inside Innocent Minds. Hi, my name is Innocent Usar, and I'm so excited to have you today on the show. Inside Innocent Minds is not about us. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about you discovering yourself. It's about you finding what is missing. It's about you pushing yourself beyond the boundaries that you heard you would never be able to cross. It's about you getting all the tools and the resources that you needed to move your career forward. It's about you being your authentic self. Inside Innocent Minds is about pushing boundaries and helping people to be who they want to be. Today is truly an excited edition, and I have a friend and a guest that I'd like to introduce shortly. We'll go on this short break, and when we come back, you will know who I have on the show today. Stay here and don't go away. We'll be right back.
Innocent Minds. Education for real empowerment.
Hello, my name is Innocent Usar. I'm so glad today to talk to you about our organization, Innocent Minds Education and Training. We're involved with some of the most amazing tools that are available out there. Today in the 21st century, we still find many individuals, organizations, and groups involved with trying to get change to happen using very old and worn-out techniques. But I can say to you that what you get out there, the results that you churn out, and all of the things that happen to you are going to be determined by who you are. And who you are is a factor and a function of what you see. What you see is a factor and a function of how much you've put inside of you. Our organization would love to help you in this regard, to put inside of you some of the next generation of clarity, possibilities, and change that will make you stand shoulder and head above all.
Innocent Minds. Clarity, possibilities, change.
Change happens sometimes, not just so people can get better. Change happens sometimes so that even good people can improve. And if there was a word like gooder, I would say they will become gooder. But hey, super improvement is what many people encounter, when they want to see change, and when they approach change, and when they want to learn. On Inside Innocent Minds today, I would like to introduce somebody that I consider to be in that category. Someone who is beautiful and amazing inside and out. I'm so thrilled to be welcoming this person. I'm talking about no other person than Peace Saleh. Hi, Peace. What's up?
Hello.
How
nice
are you?
to meet you. Again.
Yeah, it's good to be here, and it's not you on your view, but hey, this is Inside Innocent Minds.
Yeah.
I'd like to welcome you.
It's great to be here. I'm excited. I met this fantastic young man last year.
Okay.
And he's happened to be sitting right beside me.
Oh, for a moment I thought you were going to be talking about your husband, but then, oh yeah, it was me. How you doing?
I'm happy to be here. I'm good.
Oh, good. So we met, a year ago, and some certain things happened, and Inside Innocent Minds is about stories that touch the heart, not in a negative sense, but stories that inspire, stories that push people forward. And I know you've got stories, but tell us a little bit today on the program about your story before this story.
Well, for me, I take training very seriously. I take personal development very seriously. So over the years, I have been going for a series of trainings, going different places, try to improve myself. And I was blessed to have the opportunity to go on a TV show, which I started. And also before that time,
that's your view?
That's your view, yes, on
okay.
TVC.
Okay.
Before that time, I'd started with a volunteer work at an NGO where we go to talk to secondary school girls, and we help young people try to come out of, so they don't make mistakes in their life. We try to talk to them and empower them to have information that eventually they become better people in the society. So I had been doing that for a long time. Unfortunately for me, I was not so equipped with the amount of knowledge that I really hope to have gotten, because at the end of every training, people will come and say, oh, this, I need help with that and all that. You know, some come out with stories like, oh, I've been through sexual abuse, my father abuses me and all that. And I'm wondering, how do we help? You know, how do we help and how do we change things? You know, I've always been pushy for change. I love when things are done properly. You know, so, and you cannot do something properly without the right information. You need to have something for you to be able to give something. So that for me was the state where I was. You know, I also needed help with who I was. I knew I was destined for something great, but I didn't know how to go about that greatness.
Inside Innocent Minds, we'll be right back.
My name is Daniel Akpata, and another platform I'm known as the only true blunt crazy love doctor. But the truth of the matter is, NLP has been phenomenal for me because it has broken down the essence of my being, in the sense that I now understand better how to relate with people, how to internalize, and how to give and take feedbacks, and of course, how to look at people and understand where they are coming from. It's been a wonderful experience, and it's what I would do over and over again if permitted to, because it is just what gives me the wings, needed wings, to fly. Once again, my name is Daniel Akpata. I'm an honest person. This is my NLP story. What is your NLP story?
Before we talk about what specific encounters you had on, at our training, I'd like to tell us and a little bit about your encounter in terms of what was the training all about for you, all of the scenarios and all of everything that went on. What was that for you? In comparison to where you were coming from?
I would like to say, for those people that have not been to this man's training, I think you're missing a lot. The truth is that for the first 3 days, I'm not the regular people that go, oh, I got the message. For the first 3 days, I was lost. When you say somebody is lost, like I was confused. I remember coming to you and I said, okay, so what am I here for again?
And then you would hear me say something like, you're
right
exactly where
you're supposed to be. Like,
fantastic.
I'm only like, what the hell is this? Why is this man saying this? You know, I got upset that, can't you just give me an explanation? Because,
and this cost you some money.
Of course. And I'm hearing you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So I didn't understand what it was until the connection started happening. By the third day, the fourth day, you know, the training opened my mind, expanded my awareness, and I was able to see different things. And I could picture myself exactly, you know, when I was young, the kind of words I heard, what made me who I am today. And, you know, there was a day I broke down and I was crying. I was crying because...
At this event?
At the training, you know. In our own training, it was crazy. A lot of people broke down in tears and they were crying because they could just relate. You know, it's one thing for someone to tell you something. It's another thing for you to come to that awareness. You know, somebody says, oh, wow, why are you always like this? Why are you uptight and all that? You might not understand what they mean until you come to that awareness. It's like taking yourself out of your body and picturing yourself, and you're seeing something and you're wondering, oh my goodness, is this me? You know, so that brought an awareness to me, and I was able to connect a lot of things. I was able to, you know, relate with why I had the kind of mindset that I have today.
Now, let's talk a little bit specifics. Let's talk a little specifics. And I'd like you to talk to the audience and, of course, talk to us about your experience with where you are coming from as a child. You know, you shared certain things about your background, you know, growing up with your mom and, you know, having to be with people and to trust, you know, and all of that. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Now, for instance, with issues of money, for instance, growing up, I was in a restaurant, of course. My mother had a very big restaurant in Kaduna State. We grew up in
Kaduna.
Yes.
Yay! I was born in Kaduna too.
We grew up in Kaduna State, and we lived all our lives all my childhood, the only thing that brought me down here south was university, where I had to go to the university. But all my life I'd lived in the north, and I remembered that while I was growing up, all the ideology of wealth, for instance, because when you see, then she was selling alcoholic beverage, and you meet a lot of people that are wealthy and they come to the restaurant, and so that formed a belief for me that money would always be associated with negative behaviors, because I didn't like the idea that men will come, that they are married, and they come
with some mistresses.
Yeah, with some mistresses to the restaurant, and they drink to stupor, and I'm wondering, like, God, does this man not have a life? Where is his wife? And also that formed an ideology.
So you associated wealth with negative,
with negative things.
Inside Innocent Minds, we'll be right back. Inside Innocent Minds, the platform for extraordinary people.
Before NLP, I would have said, okay, I was doing it unconsciously. Before NLP, I was doing it was, but now, because I now know, I'm aware of that. So now I consciously and deliberately take actions, towards canceling whatever it is that looks like that. So I found myself constantly running away from anything that looked like financial success. I was self-sabotaging anything that had to do with like a financial breakthrough for me, because I had already made and formed something that wealth was always associated with negative behaviors. So even with my marriage, for a long time, if, men, the way they be sometimes.
What does that mean? That was the old you.
That was the old me. But that's why I said sometimes.
Yeah.
The old me would have said all men.
All men.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So the new
now
me,
you say some men.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. And so anything that looked like negative behavior raised like a red flag for me. It was a signal, like, oh, is this possible, and all that. So it affected my marriage for a very long time.
Now, you also said some things about suspicion in terms of, not just marriage, but people generally said things to you. You were not so quick in trusting.
Of course.
Whether it was a business proposition or whatever it is that you
because when you grow up in an environment where it's all, everybody, this one wants to steal from me, that one wants to steal from me, that formed another part of me that couldn't trust anybody. I just felt like, so even if someone is nice to me, genuinely nice to me, I would think, okay, there's something this person is looking for, and because of course you're always looking for something, you eventually find it. So that was what was happening to me.
You actually came into this event not even trusting the
I don't trust it.
Suspicious of all of the
I didn't trust
things that were going to be happening.
Of course, I didn't trust the process, and I remember you kept saying trust the process, repeatedly, and I would confess the first level of the training, I didn't completely trust the process. I learned a lot. I got the message, but I still wasn't willing to let go.
And it made you have certain reservations.
Of course. I wasn't willing to let go. I still said, no, let me stay. There's still something that will go wrong.
Okay.
Do you understand? So, but by the time I had gone to the master's level, I realized that, okay, I think this thing, even at the master's level, it was when I now volunteered, to work. I began to see a lot of things. So for me, I would tell people, be in an environment where you're constantly learning. Do you understand? Because when you're there, you see a lot of things, and when you're aware of those things, you're able to solve a lot of issues that you're going through with. Yeah.
Okay, you're listening to Inside Innocent Minds, and I'm excited to know that you're hearing someone pour their heart out to you and their story to you. I know that she's got more to say, and then for now, I'd like us to go on a very short break. When we return, you will hear my guests pour out more and more and more. But this isn't going to discourage you. This is going to strengthen you. Stay here, don't go away.
This is Inside Innocent Minds, the platform for extraordinary people.
You're welcome back. This is Inside Innocent Minds. My name is Innocent Usar, your host, and I'm so thrilled to have you make this show happen. Every week, this time of the week on this station, we inspire people with personal stories. We inspire people with stories, not the stories that discourage, but the stories that strengthen and help people to get a hold of their authentic selves. Today, I have with me a very good friend and someone who is doing an amazing work out there at different levels. Once again, I'd like to welcome Saleh. Hi, Mrs. Saleh.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're having fun. Yeah, we're having fun. Now, there's a lot that I know you haven't shared, and you don't want me to be going to areas where you don't want me going to. So let's talk generally about a whole lot of these other areas where, coming into contact with Innocent Minds affected you, shed light on, put strength in, talk about your career, talk about home, talk about, your marriage and these three areas basically.
All right, because I'm a family person.
Yeah.
Let me start with my home and my children. You don't know how much damage words can do to a child's life, to a child's destiny. So for me, after attending the NLP training with Innocent Minds, I realized that there were certain words that had to be, if there's any word that is communicated, from my dictionary, it had to go. I erased them completely because the way words build people, words will also destroy people. So,
no, but that wasn't the first time you were hearing about the danger of words. What was it about this time that made it so profound for you?
That's what, we call it the hoopla things. There's something about NLP training. Your mind, I think, is when you get to that consciousness, when you become aware. Now, for instance, the last training we had, and I was volunteering, and I didn't observe the kind of words my son was using. But when I went back home that day, and he was talking, and every time I say, go do this, he'll say, no, go and get this done or something. He'll say, oh, mommy, I don't know. I didn't understand that was a disempowering word. Because at the moment he says, I don't know, he becomes comfortable. Because I don't know it, I can't think, I can't...
He's stuck.
Yes, he's stuck. So I cannot create ways to make it happen. So that for me was bringing impossibility. So ever since that consciousness came, and I told him, I said, have you noticed? You always say, I don't know, I don't know. Can we
had a conversation
Of course, I had a conversation. Now, my normal self before NLP, I would not have a conversation.
What would you do? Shout?
First of all, I would not have even been aware of what it was that I was wrong. That's one. Then secondly, I would have shouted, and just rant and all that. And at the end of the day, the message is not passed.
Yeah.
But because of the empowerment that I had with NLP, that I was able to get to that level of awareness, I was able to have a decent conversation, and he picked it immediately. So today, if he goes like, oh, I don't, it becomes, okay, I think I need to learn, or I think I need help with this. So that is a better way to put it. A better way to put it.
And look at issues.
Yeah, and look at issues. Now, for my husband, for people that are married, you can't communicate. It's one thing for the counselor to tell you, oh, communication is key. Communication is very important in marriage. It depends on how empowered you are to communicate what you're trying to say. So for me, I think everybody requires that level of understanding, because in communicating, you're able to pick that person's language, and you're speaking a language that the person understands. My husband would never, both of us would not have a conversation.
So you were not, basically, you weren't even having fun in marriage.
No, there was fun. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. There was fun, but you see, the level of his own thinking and reasoning was way, 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 way high.
Inside Innocent Minds, we'll be right back. What skills would employees and staff of organizations acquire from NLP leadership training with IMI Consulting and Innocent Minds? Leadership skills. Develop peak performance and motivation. Understand how people tick. Increase your flexibility to work with a variety of contrasting personalities. Experience greater well-being even under very stressful conditions. Elicit valuable unconscious information to help colleagues transform, work easily and productively. To enroll for our NLP courses in Lagos, Abuja, or Jos, please call Jerry on 0806 552 1140 or Talatu on 0803 201 5725. Inside Innocent Minds, the platform for extraordinary people.
Let me tell you one quick story. We had recently a show where we celebrated the Muslims, where we wore hijab.
I remember.
On the show. Yeah. It was amazing. Now, there was a war on my Facebook page. Someone came and said, "No, you're a Christian." The lady sent a message. I am totally disappointed in you. You're a Christian. You shouldn't have worn this. It did not hold any feather. Because if you know me before, I used to get angry easily.
Before now, you would have vibrated, poured venom.
Oh, I get upset. I would, and it takes me to that point where I am totally useless to myself. Because when you're upset and you're angered, you cannot function. And my husband had told me a long time ago, you cannot function in a place where your state is not happy. NLP helped me to always control my state.
Before we start, I know you have a lot to say, but talk to me about the experiences that you noticed other people were having in some of these classes that you attended at Innocent Minds.
No. And I will always go back to the last show.
Maybe not the stories, but what were the experiences that people were having? What did that mean for you?
It meant that a lot of people need to hear this. That's what I concluded. I said as many people that we can bring together. It's not about innocent Usar. This for me is a revolution. If we're able to capture the territory of the mind, we would go far in this country. Enough of what they say Africa. I don't believe Africa is backward. I just believe Africa needs to be more aware. Someone needs to break that brick wall. Somebody needs to break that
awareness that moves people to action.
That moves people to positive action. That becomes a transformation of where you're now thinking. You're no longer thinking about you. You're thinking about the next
Did you
person.
see people change?
Oh, of course. And you know, the kind of transformation, because it's a personal transformation, when you have positivity on your inside, you can only give positivity. Right now, yes, I might have some areas, of course, because we are not perfect.
It's a journey
of course,
for you.
It's a journey, but you see, because there's an awareness, that journey, I'm looking at it every day, and I'm saying, okay, yesterday was good. I think I can do better tomorrow. That's what this is about. It's not about you being perfect. It's about you being aware, now being able to see people from different states that they are in, where they are at that particular time of their life, and you understand with them.
Wow.
So that would not have been possible.
I know you wouldn't possibly stop.
Never would not have been possible.
There's a lot for you to talk about
without Innocent Usar. So for that, I tell you, you are an amazing coach.
It was an honor to have you trust us to come into Innocent Minds and trust the training and trust the process. And we're still on a journey together. And I'm so excited about the transformation I've seen happen at work, career, relationships, and your kids and everything. And I met them, by the way. You've got an amazing set of boys.
Inside Innocent Minds, we'll be right back.
So to cap it off for you, what's the outlook like for you in terms of the future? What the things you want to do, the path that you want to take? What is it looking like for you?
With all the materials that I have right now at my disposal, mindset and everything, I don't see impossibility anymore. And if you know me correctly,
wow.
I used to be so afraid of doing things. Now, the other day I sat down and I came up with a business plan, and in the split second we had gone together with my friends and we started something amazing.
Wow.
And already is a success. I'm seeing possibilities. Now I'm able to travel from where I am. I go to the future and I see it happen and it's successful. Unlike before, now I'm always afraid.
It's more like finally, God says, I'll do exceedingly abundantly
I'm
above all
you.
that you can ask or imagine.
That's it. And my imagination, I used to think that I cannot imagine being successful. I cannot imagine, because I'm afraid of success. I'm not like the other people that are afraid to fail. Mine was because of my association, if you remember, with what
negativity with success.
Negativity with success. I associated that, so I deliberately run away from anything that wants to smell any form of success. So for me now, I'm embracing who I am. My name is Usar. God has given me wealth. And imagine I'm running away from wealth.
So are you ready to jump now?
Of course, there's nothing like
take a leap, fly.
Of course. NLP has transformed my mind, and you don't want to know where I am right now. I see things happening to me that are beyond where I am. So
that's
and
fantastic.
For me, that's a major transformation.
That's fantastic. I'm so pleased to hear that.
Thank you.
You can have the same story. You can even have a better story. We are not in any sort of competition, but you have a path that you've got to follow. And that path awaits you. Take that step today.